All right, he wants to debate. He said he's been wanting to do this for a while, and he's going to tell me how the Lumen Gentium and Nostra Aetate make perfect sense because it's the same God. It's one God. So go ahead, Catholic Primer, if you want to unmute. Do you know what the quantifier shift fallacy is?
No, I'm not. I'm not familiar with that. Can you go ahead and explain?
So what? I'm not trying to be mean, but like, why would you want to come debate it if you're not even familiar with the fallacy that I always point out is the fallacy here?
I'm not. Well, I just want to be upfront and say I do like your stuff. I've listened to you, with Islam, with feminism. So I'm not trying to debate or to come at you antagonistically. I just want to provide you my own perspective, and then you can tell me where you would disagree or agree.
Okay, well, I'll outline what that is first, and
Sure.
then you can tell me. Let me tell you what that is first, and then you can make whatever arguments you want. So the quantifier shift fallacy is a pretty. It's maybe not that well known because it doesn't come up a lot. But basically, the idea is it's a fallacy that has to do with grammar and referent. So, for example, if I say that I have one mother, I come from a mother, you have one mother, you came from a mother, everyone I know comes from one mother, therefore we all come from one mother. So you notice that the reason it's called the quantifier shift fallacy is that the referent originally is to an individual's mother, and then the word one mother is being shifted to then refer to everyone in the world having one single mother, the same mother. So likewise, in the domain of religion and philosophy, if you read Dr. Garaby's paper, Theistic Fallacies, he outlines many of these that undergird natural theology. And one of those is the quantifier shift fallacy that you believe in one God, I believe in one God, therefore we believe in the same God. But in the system, there are certain attributes that if you remove those attributes that are essential to God, it's no longer the same referent, even if the same word is used. Just think about Mormons. Mormons say, I believe in a divine Son of God named Jesus. Therefore, we have the same Jesus. No, we don't, because the Mormon Jesus has excluded certain essential qualities that pick out the same Jesus that we refer to as Christians. Therefore, Nostra Aetate is making the quantifier shift fallacy that because Muslims believe in some attributes that pick out a single monotheistic deity identified supposedly as Abraham's God, it's therefore the same God. But that's false.
I agree with you. Like, if you explain it that way, yes. If that's
I've always explained it that way, and so I don't understand how you would then say, what I understood from your comment the other day was that you had a way to explain that Nostra Aetate can work because Muslims and Christians, quote, believe in the God of Abraham. No, they don't.
Okay. Can I explain to you my perspective?
Go ahead.
So, ontologically speaking, I do believe that the Allah of the Quran and the God of the Bible are two different gods, right? They have completely different qualities. They behave differently morally. I believe that Muhammad probably had some sort of demonic experience. It wasn't really God speaking to him or Gabriel. Ontologically, I do believe that they're worshiping a false God. But if I were to ask a Muslim, do you believe that you are worshiping Satan? Or do you believe that your God is different from our God? In their mind, they believe that they're worshiping the same God.
So?
Right? And they just think that we have it wrong.
So?
And right. In the same way as we believe that they have it wrong. So the analogy that I try to use is, let's say, we're talking about Michael Jordan. And then you say, oh, yeah, the guy with 5 rings. Like, you got a fact about him wrong. But then I try to correct it. No, he actually has 6 rings. Right? We're trying to refer to the same person.
Yeah.
Even if one of us gets it wrong.
The reason this doesn't work is that that's a false analogy, because in the case of certain reference in intentionality, you might be able to intend the same deity. And if Nostra Aetate or Vatican or Lumen Gentium only kept it at that's what they believe, you might be able to make the text work. The problem is that that's not all that it says. It actually says that they do adore the same deity that we do. The one they do adore. It doesn't say they think they adore the one God. It says they do adore the one God, living and subsisting in himself, merciful and all powerful, the creator of heaven and earth. They take pains to submit to his his inscrutable decrees, just as Abraham. So in
Right, but
let me finish. In sentence 2, 1 and 2 of Nostra Aetate 3, there is no qualification that what has been said so far is merely their intention or their perception. It identifies the adoration, which in Catholic theology is a term of worship, with what Muslims already possess. And you just admitted at the beginning that ontologically speaking, it's not the same referent. So even if they intend it, it doesn't matter, because Vatican II says that they actually adore that God.
Okay, you finished?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I understand what it says, and I think that it could have said it better. But I also want to focus on what.
Wait a minute. Why are you able to say that infallible dogmatic decrees from the Vatican could be stated better? Like,
I'm not. I'm just
well, you just said it could be better. So are you more competent than the papacy?
No, I'm not.
Well, you just said it could be stated better. So in this case, you are, right?
No, I just want to explain myself before you.
You just said it could have been stated better, meaning that you are more competent in this matter. How is that not the case?
Okay, then can I retract it and then just go into what I want to say then?
Yeah, but for the sake of the audience, the paper that I'm referring to that I recommend people read, which deals with all of these terrible arguments, is called Theistic Fallacies by Dr. Gereby, Gereby, right here. So if you do want to go deeper into this argumentation, I'm not meaning to be rude to you, Catholic Primer, but this paper takes on Swinburne and other pretty popular proponents of Thomistic natural theology. Go ahead.
Okay, so what that paper says, it doesn't say that they're ontologically the Nostra Aetate. It doesn't say that they're the same God. It just says there are certain attributes that they listed that were similar. Self-sustaining.
No. That's not what I read. What it says. It says they adore the one God. Adoration in Catholic. It's not correct. In Catholic theology, adoration is a term of worship.
Well, that's correct. They believe that they adore
that's
the one
not
God.
What it says. The qualification that their perception is later on stated to be about the faith of Abraham. It does not say that until later on. It says, just as Abraham, who the faith of Islam takes pleasure in linking itself, submitted to God. The first sentence and the second sentence are about what they get correct. They do adore the one living God, and this is precisely why your papacy prays in the mosques towards Mecca.
Okay, I'm trying to express myself, but you're interrupting me at every point.
No, because literally the thing you just said is the first thing that I covered. I knew you were going to say, well, that's just from their perspective. It's just saying what they think. That is not true. I just refuted that. The first frickin' thing I said, they adore the one God. The qualification doesn't come until the next sentence later on.
But it doesn't say that the one God that they adore is the same as our God.
Yes, it does. They adore the one God. You're lying.
It doesn't say they're ontologically the same.
It doesn't have to, because it says they adore the one God. You're being dishonest. It says that
they believe that Jesus is not God either.
What does that have to do with this? It's this phrase.
It says that Jesus is not God.
So what? This is the problem phrase. All that means is that they're contradicting themselves. We know that Muslims don't believe in Jesus as God. So what? What does that have to do with this? It's not true that they adore the one God. That's false.
Okay, so then let me clarify then, because I think that whenever we say the same God, I think that it requires too much unpacking. I think it's better asked is, does the Muslim conception of God matches the Christian conception?
No, that's everybody knows, and you already said at the beginning that we agree that that's false. That's not the problem. The problem is the statement in the dogmatic document, they adore the one living God.
Right, but it also doesn't say everything else that you're trying to conclude.
Yeah, what are you talking about? What's the false conclusion? I'm just going by what it says right there. What do you mean it
Right,
doesn't
but-
say all the other stuff I'm
Well,
saying?
I mean, if you go off of Pope Benedict and John Paul II, they don't.
All that means
acknowledge
is that they contradict. What do you talk? What does that mean? What does that prove? What do you mean all the other stuff? Like what? Like them praying in the mosque towards Mecca? Their actions show what they believe, dude. Get out of here with this bullshit.